Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back. First of all, if you would like to support me, guys, my PayPal is in the description, so thank you all. And I'm back with part 2 of What If Naruto Was the Ultimate Necromancer, guys. If you want to see part 3, just go ahead and comment down below and tell me, and I'll be posting it as soon as possible. And don't forget to get this one too. 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels if you're new. Yes, that's right, I indeed have 3 more channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and check out Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Symbol, guys, and become a part of the Anime King family. So without further ado or wasting more time, let us begin this new episode. Let's begin now, guys. So the last part that we left off, we started with a bit of a history. An extremely long time ago, there was these tribes of people that dominate the planet that is now known as the Elemental Nation. They said to have the power to rewrite death itself. However, after a being came from the heavens, their clan was seemingly wiped out. A lot changed. There was so many history in that time that none can really recall. But in this day and age, Uzumaki was able to awaken the lost power that his ancestors once had. All of the Uzumakis came together, and the leader, Arashi, had to give his life. A man that was said to be as strong as Madara Uchiha and Hoshirama Senju. He had to give his life to defeat this foe. Because he knew if he was not taken down, he wouldn't just be a Uzumaki threat, he would be a literal global threat to everyone and everything around him. So with that, he thought that would be the end, but years later, a young boy was brought into the world that was obsessed with death. His name was Naruto Uzumaki, as he always found it fascinating. Even as he went to the academy, even as he made friends, nothing seemed to change that fascination that he had. However, things started to take a turn when he reanimated a dead mouse in his house. The creature was able to twitch slightly, making him realize that something truly interesting had taken place. He continued to experiment and continued to test himself. Again and again as the years passed by, his ability grew stronger as he could reanimate rabbits and small, little creatures within the forest as he started to go up and up. More larger creatures for a longer time. Not only that, he could destroy the cells of an animal. He hadn't tried it on human, but as he rested his hand on the creature, he was able to destroy the cells, literally burning away the skin. He was truly shocked by what he was able to accomplish. However, one night he found himself trying to push his ability even further when a book rooted itself out of the earth a far distance away and flew right towards him. It set off many alarms within Konoha, but Naruto was gone by then. Unaware that the moment he opened that book, he let something open within the world once again. Naruto started to read as it turned out that he was a Necromancer. He had Necromancer ability, Necro energy that he used to revitalize the dead and control them. Naruto started to practice trying to understand what this meant and how would this better help him. When he came to his final test, Mizuki tried to trick Naruto as he got Naruto to steal a forbidden scroll. However, when the time came and Mizuki almost ended Iruka Naruto joining once again, Feeling proud by Iruka's words, Naruto took on Mizuki as he pushed the necro energy into the ground. All the dead animals rose up. They were created from bones. The more necro energy that Naruto used, the stronger they became. As they ripped down on Mizuki, the numbers were too overwhelming even though he could destroy them. Facing off against hundreds were too overwhelming. As Naruto reached him, Naruto placed his hand on Mizuki's chest. Mizuki was about to take its final breath, but instead, all of that energy flew within Naruto as he got back to his feet stronger than ever. Upon returning back to the tower, Iruka told Hiruzen what happened. As Naruto had not told the old man any of this, he's been really secretive and quiet about this. Hiruzen dug up an old scroll that was brought back from the Uzumaki wreckage about the man that could control the dead. The scroll spoke about a being that shouldn't be allowed to exist within this reality because the sole intention of his ability was able to corrupt his mind and switch his intentions into something truly dark and decrepit. Hiruzen was starting to become afraid for Naruto's safety and the safety of those around him. When Naruto got home that day though, he was able to release things from the book. One of them was a powerful sight, but it was too heavy for him. Another was a staff. And then there was two tiny blades that could return back to him as he could control them with his necro energy. That is when Naruto got the fright of his life as someone was there beside him. He was freaked out as he pretended not to notice. The person went away afterwards. As Naruto went to the academy and graduated, after proving that he could handle himself against a Chunin, Hiruzen allowed him to graduate. As he was trying to unravel the secrets that Naruto had come to learn about himself. As he was placed on Team 7, Naruto realized that despite what he's learned so far, that did not mean he could beat someone like Kakashi Hatake. However, Team 7 did pass. Hiruzen was trying to broach the subject, trying to understand and learn why Naruto was keeping this away from him, but Naruto himself did not know why. As Naruto met the girl once again, but this time she spoke to him. She told him that he had nothing to be afraid of. She would never harm him and that he was the one. She gripped his arm and Naruto's arm started to become black obsidian, but she released it as he was afraid, but she was able to sway that away. For some reason, he could feel that she would never hurt him, as she told him that, but the feeling was there as well. He had no idea how much deeper down the rabbit hole that he would go from there on. So yeah guys, basically as per left off, you guys can switch across the place, check out for yourself so to be in this new episode. You have to be kidding me. The voice of a man known as Tazuna said, "First of all, they're just a bunch of kids. Well, those two. And that one is just really scary looking." Naruto blinked as he was wearing his hood over his head. And the collar that was supposed to stop at his neck came all the way up, obscuring most of his lower half of his face. And the hood with the shadows there. Kakashi stepped in. He would be more than capable to protect the client. However, he shouldn't be counting his team out so easily. Sakura gazed over towards Naruto, noticing him fumbling with his clothing. "What's wrong?" she asked. He looked at her with a tilt of his head. "Am I really scary looking?" he questioned. She blinked. "I thought that is what you were going for," she said to him. He really wasn't. "Well, this doesn't help," she said, as she reached up and pulled down his hood, exposing his hair. "Also, this obscures your face a lot, and you're always serious all the time, so that doesn't help either," she said. "Not to mention you're very quiet." She shrugged her shoulders. "But it doesn't matter," she said. "Be you," as she smiled at him. She liked Naruto. He was one of the first to help her when it came to the bell test, willing to sacrifice his own graduation in order to aid her, and their missions within the village being all D ranks. He's been really helpful. He was kind and gentle, and she liked that. She was glad that she had him on her team, and her crush was also there as well, so she was happy. as Harrison stood there, watching the girl give Naruto tips. He's been trying to slowly broach a subject to try to understand why Naruto has been keeping information away from him. However, given the recent acknowledgement of what Naruto contained, something that he has been keeping away from him for the longest time now, the brief explanation that Naruto gave about it, Harrison believed there was a lot more. However, forcing the information out of him would cause him to clam up even more. But at least they know the basics of what he can do. It seemed to work with the corpses of those that remain. So far, he himself had said that it was only animals. However, Harrison dreaded to think that the scroll that he read that they recovered from the Uzumaki clan was a direct link to Naruto. He blinked as he looked to see Naruto looking at him. However, he realized that Naruto wasn't looking at him. He was looking by him. At the corner, Harrison gazed over, but no one was there. By the time he turned his gaze back to Naruto, they were leaving. Well, at least this mission will be able to help Team 7 and furthermore acknowledge more of this little gift that Naruto possesses, as he's never seen anything like it. All the information that he read so far was truly limited. Time skip. As Team 7 was making their way, over the past month and a half, Naruto had grown somewhat in terms of his knowledge. When it came to physical endurance, Kakashi was aiding with that, making sure that the team was able to properly flank each other and help each other in battles. Now they were venturing on to their first mission outside the village. Since the day that he spoke to that woman, he still did not know her name, where she told him that she will never harm him. He hadn't seen her since. She did say that she would be watching over him, and every now and again he saw something moving at the corner of his eye. He wondered if she was that thing moving around. He still had no idea what she was, but he could feel it. She had no intention of harming him, and he trusted her, despite having no idea who she is. As the group stepped by the puddle, suddenly, something burst out of it. Not one, but two. Naruto spun around as he watched. His sensei got ripped in half. Sakura eyes widened. Sasuke immediately pulled out a kunai and shuriken. Sakura started to curse at herself. She had to do something. She jumped in front of the client, weapon drawn. Sasuke was able to pin the chain down between the demon brothers. They broke it and separated. Naruto watched as the demon brother raced towards him. His blade extended. Naruto pulsed his necro energy into the earth. Suddenly, the corpse of a rabbit burst out of it. The blade of the demon brother stabbed into it. What the hell? Miyaizo said, confused by what the hell was going on. The blade slipped from Naruto's wrist and dropped in his hand as he launched it. The demon brother cried in pain as it stabbed into his leg and started to bury itself inside of it. Naruto used the opportunity to flip over his head. As he called back his blade, it ripped from his leg, causing him to fumble over, his other arm occupied as he reached to cover the wound. Naruto jumped on top of his back and slammed down hard on his skull, causing him to drop into the earth. The demon brother was getting up as he tried to push Naruto off of him. That is when Naruto heard it. Go ahead. Take the next step. Feast. A voice whispered into his ears. Naruto seemed to lose his momentum. As his hand lashed out, he gripped onto the demon brother. Miyaizo felt the throbbing pain in his head and leg as he was about to try to get to his feet when suddenly he felt something spread through his body. A cold, chilling sensation. The only way he could describe this feeling was, it was death. Death was creeping upon him and about to snatch his very soul. Kakashi Hatake watched all of this happen in a few seconds. As Sasuke knocked both demon brothers away, they split apart Sasuke dodged the blow and kicked the demon brother in the stomach. Because the chain was still hooked to the ground, he gazed over to Naruto as he watched. Naruto was able to stab the demon brother in the leg and flip over him. However, what happened next as Naruto kicked him in the skull and landed on his back? Kakashi saw a strange silhouette surrounding Naruto's form. He reached and lifted his headband, trying to understand what it was, but all he could see was a ghostly shadow, even with his Sharingan. However, the place felt so cold just by looking at that thing. The copy ninja looked down, his momentary lapse almost costing him Sasuke, who was fending off against the demon brother alone. Why was his hands shaking as he looked at Naruto? Bursting out of the foliage, he delivered a vicious punch that knocked out the other demon brother that was going up against Sasuke. As the Uchiha stopped in his tracks. "Naruto, stop," he said, as an ungodly scream came from Miyaizo's throat. Terrified and in pain, Miyaizo was screaming, but Naruto did not let go. "Do it. You're almost there. Do it. Focus. Don't lose it. Do it," the voice kept on saying in his head. Kakashi's hand grabbed Naruto's wrist and threw it back immediately. As Naruto blinked, he blinked several times as he looked down. Miyaizo passed out. Naruto looked at his palm as he saw something strange. The inside of his palm, the green energy of the necro energy was fluctuating as it changed his skin tone. His hands inside seemed to seem made of only bones, almost like it was dying before it returned back to normal. Naruto spun around as he saw her. She was standing there. Even though they stood in the broad daylight, the only thing that he could see was the lower half of her face, and she was smiling. She vanished along with the wind. Kakashi Hatake looked towards his hand, which was trembling even more. The moment he touched Naruto, he saw something disturbing. Moments earlier, as Kakashi grabbed Naruto's hand, for a brief second he saw death all around him, corpses of those he faced in the past. The only reason why he knew that was because a certain memory of a certain man that caused the death of his teammate Obito Uchiha. He saw his corpse as well. He was confused. He immediately threw Naruto's hand away. The connection that Naruto made with the demon brother. Naruto's hand had burned through his clothing, leaving a print on his back, like it was about to tear into his very flesh and go beyond, but it was just a handprint. I'm sorry, said Naruto. He heard what Kakashi said, but stopping himself seemed so impossible a moment ago. The copy ninja looked towards him. "Are you alright?" he said, maintaining a sense of calm. "Yes, I'm fine." The other two had no idea what was going on. Focused on their own threat, they could not see much that was taking place. Time skip. They venture off into the land of Wave, Tazuna breaking and telling them the truth. However, they decided that they would still go and aid him on this mission as they venture deeper into the mist. However, their problem has just begun. They came across a much stronger foe, Zabuza Momochi. He captured Kakashi Hatake after a small scuffle. Team 7 came up with a plan to free their sensei, but as Naruto felt something, never before had he controlled an actual human skeleton. Someone had passed away here. The remnants of their bones in the water reconstruct itself and shoot out. Zabuza wasn't ready for that. He blocked it with his blade. Naruto pulled out one of his, about to stab it in Zabuza's arm. However, something hit Naruto in his side, and then hit him in the shoulder, and then hit him in the neck. Naruto fell, his whole body seizing up. Within the bushes, an accomplice of Zabuza had to step in. The person's name was Haku. After witnessing Zabuza too busy to handle that skeleton that seemed to burst from the water, they knew that they had to intervene, otherwise the master might be gravely wounded or worse. Kakashi's eyes went wide as he watched Naruto seize up and fell. Sakura screamed out his name. Sasuke dashed forward to intervene. As Naruto collapsed into the water, he couldn't move. His eyes were open, but he could not move. The senbons that hit him, as they stunned him, his entire body had seized up. Damn it, he cursed to himself. He watches Zabuza shatter the skeleton structure of the one that he rose, with his blade tearing right through it, as Naruto fell. That is when he saw her. For the first time he saw her face, as the water pulled her dark hair back. How that was even possible, seeing that she wasn't even here. She grabbed him, grabbed onto his shirt as she pulled her face close to his. "I told you, I will be watching," she said. Her eyes were a deep crimson color, like the reddest red that he's ever seen. Her face seemed to be mature, and yet at the same time she seemed so young, so everlasting, it was hard to describe. She pulled him in as she caressed her fingers through his, holding his hand as she held on to the other. "Let me show you what you are keeping yourself away from." The next moment, her essence flew within Naruto as Naruto blacked out. When his eyes opened, they were now completely crimson, just a deep-seated crimson, almost like they were bleeding. He looked down at his hands as he smiled to himself. But that was not Naruto. He wasn't in control anymore. The water exploded. Team 7 and Tazuna blinked, their foes also watching in shock, as Naruto was suspended in mid-air. Seconds ticked by and yet he did not fall. He seemed to be overwhelmed, like someone under the influence, submerged within it, happy, given the smile on his face. His gaze then turned as he pinpointed the two. Haku was surprised. He hid behind the tree. He noticed me? Haku questioned to himself. Zabuza raised his blade. The next moment, Naruto was running his fingers across that blade. Both Zabuza and Kakashi snapped their gaze to the side. They had the same thought running through their mind. What the hell? Zabuza said it out loud though, causing Haku to turn his gaze. That's impossible. How did he? Nice blade you have there, Naruto said, running his fingers across it. It's rather large though. Tell me, are you compensating for something? He said with a smile. Zabuza twisted his hand and raised the blade and brought it down. Kakashi shouted for Naruto to move, but the blade hit Naruto and it shattered. However, that wasn't what truly happened. The touch that Naruto laid on it corrodes the metal, aged it, and it started to break away, destroying one of the legendary blades just like that. Naruto had then shot outwards to grab Zabuza, but the man jumped away after witnessing what just happened, choosing to stay away from this corrosive touch. As Naruto smiled, Kakashi was now free though. Naruto, he questioned. Naruto turned his gaze towards him. You're their teacher. Make sure you don't get yourself captured next time. I cannot always aid him. Even using this much will deplete me greatly. Remember my words, Kakashi Hatake. Naruto spat, the name with disgust. If you allow him to get hurt, or worse, I will find a way, and I will come for you, and you will know endless torture. The next moment, Naruto spasmed as he fell face first. Kakashi grabbed him, seeing that Naruto was out cold. He was possessed. Naruto stirred as he woke up within Kakashi's arm. What's going on? How did I get up here, said Naruto. I thought. The copy ninja held Naruto so he would not fall in the water. Both Zabuza and Haku stood there, Haku within the trees. Naruto turned his gaze towards the enemy. Zabuza looked down towards the handle within his hand, which slowly broke away as the pieces fell into the water. The copy ninja gazed over his shoulder, that Sharingan swirling. Zabuza grunted under his breath as he chose to pull back for now. There were too many unknowns, too many to risk. Whatever that child was, he was powerful enough to destroy a legendary blade with a touch. And Zabuza could feel it if that hand had laid on him. Death would be the least of his concern. And he didn't know why. Blazing through hand sign, he created a violent, spinning trench within the water, which made him escape as Kakashi jumped away, landing on the other side with Naruto, as the other person moved through the trees, quickly following behind Zabuza. Naruto stood there really confused, not quite understanding what happened. Time skip. Now that they were somewhere they could talk, would you mind telling me what happened out there? You were clearly not yourself. Kakashi looked at Naruto with a knowing gaze, wondering if the Nine Tails. Its power saved me, said Naruto. He lied. It was too overwhelming. I barely remember anything then. The power coming to my aid as I was drowning. Kakashi had several questions, but Naruto seemed to know nothing. Why was the beast protective of Naruto? Why did it desire to save him? And the way it spoke, could it so casually spoke, or because that was its influence over Naruto? Were they not dealing with just a mindless, destructive beast here? As the copy ninja rattled his brain, Naruto did not tell him a single thing about her because he didn't know why, but she saved him. Now as the time passed by, Naruto started to get flashes in his mind of her. He had no idea why he didn't say anything, but he just didn't feel like saying anything. However, Team 7 was safe and the enemy had retreated. However, they needed to be prepared for the next time, because Zabuza will be coming back, and he will be bringing his comrade to aid him in his battle, now knowing that Naruto was much of a threat as the copy ninja as well. Meanwhile, as the time passed by, we find Naruto seated by himself, trying to see her, trying to talk to her, but she wasn't showing up. As days flew by and they trained, learning the tree walking exercise, she did not show up one bit. She was gone. As more time passed by, at Konoha, within the depths of Naruto's home, the book under his bed flew open as the woman emerged from it, her hand crawling like she was escaping from the depths of hell itself. She got to her feet and stretched. Still too weak, she said, looking towards her hand. She clenched her fist as she gazed into the heavens. I will have my revenge, she said as she looked towards the moon. And you will suffer, she said, untold suffering like never before. This time, no one will be able to stop my successor, unlike the other one. An image flashed through her mind. That Uzumaki that was put down by his own, that required a sacrifice to be put down. He was the one that came to her mind. Now what was her connection with him? as she vanished in mid-air. Meanwhile, we could see Naruto sitting down. Naruto felt sorry for the child. His name was Iniri. He did not feel angry but sorry for him. He was just a child. Children were prone to go on their emotions, so he understand why he lashed out without thinking. However, after seeing the environment that they were forced to live in, Naruto was rather shocked. No one was supposed to live like that. Gato had really done a number on these people. It was their will to go on. He was trying to break it completely. And from what Naruto has seen, most of them lost the will to ever fight back, not having the strength to keep up anymore. Most of them just couldn't do it. And Naruto felt bad for them, as they've completely given up. However, they were here for a reason, and he could do something about that. Venturing away from Team 7, Naruto made his way in isolation, as he felt it beneath him. Placing both hands on the ground ruptured open as hands started to emerge. Two soldiers, created from bones alone, resurrected by him, were standing on their feet. Naruto looked at them as he pulled out one of his daggers and threw it. It shattered one in half. He pulled his fist back and plunged it in one of their chests, and they broke apart. Using his necro energy, he pulled them back together. Even when the bone had been broken, Naruto was able to reconstruct it. However, after seeing Zabuza rip through one of them without much effort, he needed to make it stronger. Placing both of his hands out, the necro energy flew from Naruto. He watched as muscles and tissues started to return back to the bones. Naruto started to feel tired just from returning two back to their previous stage, having never done anything like this before. When it came to humans that had passed, however, they need to be stronger. Naruto collapsed down to the ground, taking some deep breaths, as Naruto found himself unable to distinguish between the necro energy and his chakra anymore. Had the both of them melded together to become one? Perhaps it was because of his constant use. However, once Naruto looked up, he was gazing at two different individuals. He did not know if this was the former state that they died in, or did he reconstruct them for this exact reason. In his mind, he was hoping that they would be large, powerful enough to handle the threat sent their way. The both of them stood at the height of 7 foot, rippling muscles surrounding their bones. However, their flesh did not look healthy, and their eyes were completely empty, void of life, emotion, void of anything. Naruto pointed towards the tree. Destroy that, he said. They turned. Pressing their feet into the ground, they sped off. They held their hand out as they ripped the tree as they moved past it, and their hand remained perfectly sturdy. Naruto was surprised. He wondered if he could make more with less mass. If this was because he desired their strength to be much greater. Pulling out his blade, Naruto threw it. It stabbed into one of their stomach. Naruto could actually feel the effects of the blade having a hard time going in due to the amount of tissue and muscle mass buildup. He pulled back the blade as he watched the wound reconstruct. However, it seems like damage that was dealt was slowly sapping their energy. He could feel it, the energy that was within them that keep them constructed together. Making his way towards them, Naruto held his hand out, placed it on their stomach, as he siphoned not just the flesh but the bones. By the time he was finished, his hands were smoking and they were completely gone. Naruto gripped his head as memories simply popped into his mind that wasn't there. Naruto saw himself in two different spots. From their eyes, he saw himself rip open the tree. He saw what they just witnessed. As he stood there, wondering what was the limit to this ability that he possessed. What would be the next stage to go even further? That's good. Naruto spun around, hearing that voice. The wind started to blow. The leaf, everything started to gather. There she stood. You're here, said Naruto. I told you. I will always be watching. Naruto started to slowly walk around her. Bits and pieces of what happened start to return back to me. How did you even do that, said Naruto. I'm afraid that you can't do something like that just yet. You're still inexperienced, young. But with time, you'll be able to gain control of abilities that this world believes is myth, as he will make them reality. Who are you, said Naruto. What's your name? My name is Lilith, she said to him. Lilith, said Naruto, tilting his head. It's understandable, your reaction that is. My name is something that was given to me before your time. Things are a lot different now, she said, her feet touching the ground. If you're a ghost, how can you stand on the ground? How are you not fading right through it? What exactly are you, said Naruto. So much questions. So much answers to be given. I suppose your curiosity is at an all-time high. However, she said, moving and placing her hand on his chest, what you should know is, you are the third in this lifetime to ever awaken these abilities. I am the first. Another one of your kind, Uzumaki, was the second, and you now are the third. And from what I can see, my power has festered in you in a way that it has never even festered within myself. It is so great that, with time and practice, your potential will be boundless. Are you saying that I can be stronger than you? After what you did when you took over my body, said Naruto. Exactly. Can't you see? You are meant for this position. You are meant for something much, much greater. How are you here, said Naruto. Are you really a ghost, he questioned her. Well, in a sense, I am dead. But then again, I am not. You remember my little book? The one that hit me in the stomach, said Naruto. Well, it sensed you. It knew that you were the next person. My essence is trapped inside. And only you, she said, resting a hand on his cheek, can free me. Your predecessor was unable to do so. As I said, he didn't possess half of the natural talent that you do. You have the power to bring me back in this world. Naruto looked at her, trying to understand. I suppose you desire more, she said. Well, a little bit of a history. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years ago, a time where ninjas were nothing. A time where the elemental nation as you know it wasn't what it is right now. Flashback. A man was currently on his knees. Bloodshed and chaos. This world was primitive. This world was filled with evil, bloodshed and chaos, death, suffering. He hated this world. He despised it. He wanted to burn it down to the ground. Within his arms was his beautiful daughter. Her name was Lilith. As he held her close, tears running down his face. She was no longer breathing. In this day and age, there was no such thing as living. It was only survival. The strong devour the weak. There was no protection, just pure chaos. The world was filled with so much corruption. But you still had those that believe in a higher power. Those that pray to deities that were beyond this world. But there was a certain family. This family prayed to a deity that was much darker. They believe in wicked things, sacrifice, that bring them protection, sacrificing even some of their own. But this was not how Lilith ended up this way. Their compound was raided. Every single member of his family was slaughtered due to their worship in something dark. Signs and their treatment of their bodies and perseverance through the darkness started to cause a lot of attention that wished to see them fall. Right now, as he suffered from the wound in his stomach, he prayed to the darkness that him and his people worship to save his daughter, to give her the power to vanquish those that would see them destroyed. As his mind and soul was ripe for the taking, he gave it all up. He was willing to sacrifice everything in order to watch those that caused the destruction of his people and his family. He would give up everything to see them burn. And someone was listening. You see, the reason why him and his people were so hated was because of what they worship. They call it Vorak. Vorak, the black veil. Vorak is not death. Vorak is the absence of life, the corrosion of the void, older than souls, that feed on not the bodies but the concept of life itself. Throughout the ages, the family had offered their blood, their life, everything in Vorak's name, marking them with the curse of Vorak. And throughout the ages, the curse had kept them protected. But when the whole world did something surprising by joining forces just to see them slaughtered, the curse wasn't strong enough. Lilith's father desired to see his daughter. He desired to see her become something that would be able to see their people representation never leave this earth. So he gave up everything, his soul, his life. He gave up everything, the future of his essence, everything, to make sure that his daughter would reawaken once again. Because Vorak wasn't a physical being. As they worship it, it was an entity that was spreading the concept, a concept that was boundless without true imagination. And her father offered himself to be swallowed, to be forever swallowed by that emptiness, to ensure the power would be gifted to Lilith. But it wasn't only that. He offered the name of his ancestors, the spilled blood of all of his people that die, the stolen years from the future generation. He offered everything. Her eyes opened, and Lilith knew. She knew what her father did. Ever since she was a child, she was driven to see her people succeed, cast out and exiled by those who even come together to make themselves stronger because they were the cursed clan. Lilith vowed vengeance. Over the years, as she grew stronger, her power started to turn into something much more dark. She gained strength, speed, and the ability to command the dead. As those in front of her fall, she rose them, leading an army to slaughter everyone in her path. She returned as something hollow, something divine. She was the first true Necromancer. As her body was no longer tied to death, she stopped aging after a while. Her strength continuously grew. She bound the souls of her victims to her shadow, making herself stronger as she swallowed their essence. She answered not to heaven nor earth, but she only answered to the black veil, Vorak. Wherever she walked, the dead whisper behind her. The soil turned black, and time withered away and twisted everything within her vicinity. But before she could completely swallow the earth itself, two beings arrived. Two powerful beings from the stars, Ishiki Osusuki and Kaguya Osusuki. It was Lilith, strange power that attracted them towards his planet. Both Ishiki and Kaguya were destined to go to another planet for the goal of their clan, but they came to see what this fluctuation of power was. As they went a different course, the two godlike beings tried to plant the seed to bring forward the god tree, but the land rejected their influence. The death energy from Lilith, it placed over this twisted veil that corrupted everything. The blackened tar beneath the surface was toxic, not only to their physical form but chakra itself, their power. And within the heart of this chaos they found her, Lilith, the queen of darkness, the first necromancer, the chosen of Vorak. Both godlike beings descended upon Lilith. As she turned towards them, she was simply curious. You too are harvesters, and yet you sow nothing. Shall I show you the roots and the darkness that lie beneath them? She questioned them. The eyes of Kaguya Osusuki awakened as she gazed, but there was no chakra system within Lilith, only a void. It was like she was staring into the eyes of oblivion. Ishiki unleashed cubes, bent with his space manipulation, his raw celestial power, as he tried to dominate her. However, Lilith turned his attacks into ashes with a simple touch. As he tried to crush her, she turned them into dust. They had absolutely no idea what they have done. By stepping on this planet, by allowing her to feel their essence, not only did she summon the dead, Lilith reached into their very soul. By gazing into their eyes as she summoned beasts and warriors that had died within the Osusuki vicinity. Thus, her power was that great. The battles raged for nights upon nights, as the very sky itself no longer showed a morning day. Countless of people died through the sick toxin in the air. Mountains collapsed, oceans were drenched and dried up. The sky quaked and wept. However, the turning point came. Lilith was nearly unstoppable, but not unkillable. Vorak, his gift was power, not permanence. She could not be destroyed, but she could be severed from this world. Having to go to such extreme, Ishiki used a very powerful relic from the Osusukis. The Osusukis possessed weapons that would be catastrophic to world survival. They even had artifacts that could allow them to transcend time itself, go beyond and go forward, go behind. It was known as a null star, a small object that collapsing on itself while it was awakened. He plunged it into Lilith's chest, going past this flesh that she possessed. With that, he was able to sever her connection and send her into a collapsing void of their creation to bind her and hold her. Lilith laughed, which surprised them. "You think you have bested me," she said to them. "Well, you have not. You've only given me space to return." Her power raged as a null star, cracked and shattered, her essence seemingly vanishing away with it. Ishiki was hit by it as he was gravely wounded. He looked towards Kaguya for assistance, but she saw something within Lilith, a different kind of godhood. One not built on power but fear, worship, memories. She struck Ishiki down with her ash-killing bone. He looked at her. His final words, "The clan, they will come." And for her betrayal, killing one of her own, her death would be painful. As she turned away, believing that he could not survive, left him there to die as she seek an army that would crush her clan. After that battle, Many changes went through Kaguya Osusuki. Changes that allowed her to start the dawn of Shinobi. It was her, because without her, there would be no Sage of Six Path. Unaware to the both of them, Lilith was not destroyed. Oh no, she was not. You see, Lilith had this book that was written in blood. Every single thing in the book that Naruto had was written in blood. It was Lilith, part of her essence. And due to the Null Star breaking and collapsing, and her not being connected to this world or space or time anymore, she was able to destroy one of the greatest weapons of the Osusuki. Her remaining essence flew to the book, where her blood, her core, everything was, because she could not be truly destroyed. But without the book, she would have been sent through the fabric of time, forever lost, forever searching for a way. The book closed and was buried. Mountains upon mountains, dirt, everything. Through the ages, it was found and discarded because no one could actually pull it. However, Lilith, she wasn't just gone. She was always there, feeling the world around her. She felt it when Kaguya was captured. She felt it when the sage spread his chakra. She felt it when another was born like her. It seems her essence had even created relics in her name. However, the last one failed. He wasn't strong enough. But the day, October the 10th, as Lilith resided within her prison, unable to be free unless someone from the outside like her possessed the power to do so. She felt him. The moment Naruto Uzumaki was born into this world, she felt this essence that was something that would eclipse hers in the future. And it did not make her upset. Oh no, it did not. It made her happy. Truly happy to see that her freedom will come. So when she sensed his power rising, she felt it. She connected her essence through the book to him. And it worked, as the book flew straight towards him. In the flashback, Naruto was shocked as she told him everything. He was beyond shock, unable to truly fathom everything that this woman had just dropped right in his palms. It was my own arrogance why I was defeated. Why that blade plunged into my chest, as I believe I could simply erase it out of existence. However, a mistake like that will never happen again. Why? Why tell me all of this? Said Naruto. You've seen the life I live. What exactly do you expect me to do? She stepped closer to him. Her arms, once again, cultivating within his. As she held him, there is no need to be afraid. Your eyes have already been opened. You've seen a glimpse. However, with just a tiny piece, just like a drug, you will seek it out. You will desire more. I can feel your conflicting emotions, but the power of Vorak, it is something that you cannot go against. As right now it coursed through you, stronger than everyone else. You will be great. You will become his essence itself. As you change not just this world, but this entire reality itself. As you open the source to condemn reality. Naruto push her away. Are you crazy? I won't do something like that. What you're saying is insane. She giggled to herself. Yes, it might sound like it is. Unfortunately, she said, appearing behind him, you cannot stop it. She gripped his head as Naruto's eyes went wide. Once again, Naruto found himself in that place where nothing but corpse lie on the ground. And someone was sitting in the chair. The person smiled at him as Naruto saw their eyes, hollow, obsidian. The person got off the throne this time though. As they stepped towards him, the word came to Naruto's mind as he asked, Are you Vorak? He said. No. The deep, booming voice echoed out. We are Vorak. Naruto found himself back in the real world, confused by that statement. Could it possibly mean because of what happened? Because he was connected to this Vorak thing? Naruto screamed out as he looked towards his hands. He saw patterns arriving on his skin. What the hell? Runes that he could not read. Lilith saw them and smiled. It seems he's quite fond of you. However, she then noticed something on his forehead, something that even confused her, a relic that she could not understand. The next moment it all vanished away. As Naruto looked around, Naruto could see them, thousands of wandering souls. Souls that were unable to pass away, souls that were unable to leave this plane. They all looked at him and started to run towards him. Naruto started to back away until Lilith grabbed his hand and he found himself back in the world. Let go of me, said Naruto. Why are you doing this to me? Me? Oh, I haven't done a thing, she said. This is all you. Her words shocked him. She smiled and got closer. I told you from day one, you will never be harmed by me. But remember, you're the one. And you will grant me my freedom. And together, we shall change everything. With that, she vanished away, leaving Naruto on the ground, afraid, scared, terrified of the future if he was supposed to be wicked, dark, and evil. Hey, idiot! Naruto blinked. It's time to go back. Looking over his shoulder, he saw Sasuke standing there. As Naruto looked up to see that the place had gotten real dark. Huh. Time flies, said Naruto. The Uchiha simply and made his way off. Naruto got to his feet and made his way as well, trying his best not to focus on what was told to him because it was freaking him the hell out. Time skip. When Naruto woke up, he made his way downstairs, not seeing anyone, as he found a clock. Naruto realized that it was much later than he thought. Perhaps the whole event yesterday sapped his energy that much that he slept in. It seems that the others have already left to the bridge. Naruto got dressed, freshened himself up, preparing himself for the day. He made his way back downstairs when he heard something. Making his way towards a window, Naruto saw two thugs, one of them chopping Tsunami in the back of the neck. He watches Iniri flew, running at full speed. Let my mother go, he said, throwing his arms up. One of the thugs raised his blade as Naruto realized that he was about to cut down the child. Naruto threw both of blades without thinking, right to their skull as it ripped through their head. He watched as they fell. However, he then saw something. His necro energy siphoned their soul out of their body. Naruto was shocked as the world returned back to normal as he blinked, quickly creating two clones as he had them grab the corpses so Iniri would not see. Iniri blinked as he looked up, having closed his eyes and ran with his full might. You okay? Naruto asked, holding the unconscious Tsunami. Yeah, Iniri said. He then noticed that Naruto was shaking slightly. Are you okay? He questioned. Yeah, I'm fine, said Naruto. Why don't you take your mother somewhere safe? It seems like things are just starting. I'm gonna join up with the team and make sure that this threat is dealt with once and for all. Wait, Iniri said. He looked up at Naruto with watering eyes. Please, defeat him. I believe in you. Naruto smiled as he looked towards the child. Don't worry. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and to my promise to you, I will defeat Gato and save you and everyone here. I promise. Iniri saw a visual of Kaiser standing behind Naruto with the same smile on his face. Naruto rushed towards the area, making his way. Two people start to run at his side as Naruto looked at them. As the blood was still wet on their forehead, their pale skin as they ran beside him, his necro energy seemed to change them. Naruto reached his hand out as his blades flew back towards him from where they had landed. The moment they gripped into his palm, Naruto felt a rush. His body spasmed slightly, his eyes flickered. This power, he said, as he dashed off with more speed. The two reanimated shinobis breezing by his side as well. Naruto didn't even see that. He was starting to change greatly already. Meanwhile, Lilith observed, watching him with a smile. However, she was still curious about the symbol that she saw on his forehead. A symbol that she herself did not know, and she thought she knew everything. It often came to her mind why exactly was his essence so much stronger. What made him so much special than the other one? Only time will tell. And once she had her freedom, she will truly start to bring great changes to this world. As she smiled and made her way towards the bridge. But guys, be and subscribe right here for what's the next part, and do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. And don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. I'll be leaving all of the links down in the description, but I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.